Okay, Tzarayim Tov, everyone. We begin our next class on the Sefer Eshpoich Lefonov Sichi, which was written by Rav Avram Yitzchak Carmel, Zichrona Livracha. And we're continuing. We finished the Pesach Hadvarim, the opening. And now one more, so to speak, introduction is called a Michtav Oz Chavyon, which is really what he's going to do is he has creatively written a letter from Hashem to us. And we should read it as such. Imagine you've opened up your email, you've opened up whatever other ways you have of getting message, and it says the recipient is the Rabbi Shalom. And the subtitle is, your loving father. And he's sending you a letter. And this is not exaggeration. Question is, are you going to open up the inbox and read the letter? So here is the letter. It's a few pages. I don't know if we're going to finish it all in one sitting. It would be nice if we could. Please feel free to ask questions. But take it in the spirit that it was given. That's going to be the last of the introductions. Then we're going to get into the, as I say, the meat and potatoes of the Sefer, where we're going to look at, first of all the sources for HISBODEDUS that is way beyond and way before Rabbi Nachman came onto the scene. Slowly, we're going to get to everything that's necessary. So let's get into this letter. It's Hashem talking the whole time. So just have that in mind. Anybody's coming in late now is going to wonder who's talking to who. So that's the way it is. So you open up the letter, you're scrolling down in your inbox, and this is what it says. Bini, my son. Sekama nichsof nichsafti, himtanti, chikisi. It's been a long time. I've been yearning, waiting. I'm waiting for you to come to me. To give me a little cuddle. That you will sit before me and pour out your whole heart. Speak to me like a child who is pining for his father. Mispaisimo, trying to appease him, misgagea l'shavos lefonav, and yearning to sit before him. V'lo rak b'shvil lishos yachad im eitzel b'shelo shel aviv. V'lu, rak b'shvil, and it's all for what? Just to be together. Im eitzel, to be in the shadow of his father. Any little kid runs to his father, a little kid. Vatalo ba, and you don't come. It is fascinating. As one gets older, one begins to realize these things. When your children are very little, they think you're amazing. And every little thing they come to you. And as they get older, it's less. And there's nothing wrong with that. You want them to grow up. You want them to be independent. But then it gets to a certain point where, some children, they're not yearning to see their parents anymore. They're not waiting. They're not, and not always finding delight when being with their parents. So I think this can be already one of those issues. But, and that's why people may look at this letter and say, I don't really feel that way towards my father. Now, maybe some people haven't had a father for a long time or a mother. It can be hard to feel this. Maybe a good friend. So, we're living in a very technologically depraved world, technologically causing deprivation. Where people, honestly, if you treat Hashem like your cell phone, you'd be a lot better off. You'd be a lot better off. So, but anyway, so Hashem is saying, I'm waiting for you. Ilu yadata kama ramasim shalach. If you would know how many hints I've been sending you, here hurimu machshavas thoughts, kisuvim yearning she'emisus lavavcha that have melted your heart. Kilu b'malev, you think they came from itself. Sometimes you get this little feeling, maybe I should, be with Hashem. But you don't realize, you don't know where they come from when you have those feelings. You have no idea to understand all the things that I've done, the wondrous things in the world, all the things that are going on. In order to give you a hint, to call you, to pull you, a lie to me, with ropes of love. And this is one example of this. I have brought you close to the supernal, awesome tzaddik, Shirish Nishmas Yisrael, the root of many Jewish souls. He's talking about Rabbi Nachman, you see. His way is known to you. With this great advice that he's given is HISBODEDUS. Okay. In other words, let's look at all of you who are listening on Zoom. What did it take to have you listen to me today? You think you just thought about it? You don't realize that Hashem is saying, I've moved heaven and earth for you to be able to come and be here at this time to hear this? You're saying, what do you mean? Well, Rabbi just offered a class and we're going to it. Oh, you're not looking at it the way it should be. First of all, how did the rabbi think to give this class? How did the rabbi think to give this class? And I don't want to give the class. And these books are out of print. And my good friend, Yankel alone, he went to New York. He was there, and he looked, and he asked, and he got one copy. What would happen if I wouldn't have the copy? And what is it taking for you guys to rearrange your schedules? All kinds of things, and now you're being exposed to this idea. Okay, so where does this all coming from? You should know this all is being activated by me. Oh, I skipped. I'm sorry, I skipped. You should know that he is a worker by me. That anybody who sits before me any day for an hour, and pours this out before you, and confess and return tshuva, he will merit all goods. So he activated, Rabbi Nachman activated by me, that anybody who sits for an hour and mamish spills his guts out to Hashem, he will merit all good. There'll be no judgments above on such a person. Why? And thereby you will repair your levels of soul. And all the worlds that are dependent on it. That's what Rabbi Nachman was able to, as I say, poil, to activate, to re-energize this idea into reality. Any situation that passes by your life, I was careful that you shouldn't fall. That you shouldn't be broken. So that you can establish in your heart that this is the way to go. The choicest and most elevated way to get close to me, to search and to find me. And he says, it's not just by chance you just happened to see this sefer that you're reading right now, which is completely involved in advice of how to do HISBODEDUS correctly. This is divine supervision. How much causes I had to bring about. Or as they say in the Aramaic, how many worlds have been overturned for this purpose? So you're kind of forced to remain where you've been before. And since you have no choice, you are left to hear words that are warm and fiery, sweet as honey, very tasty. About what? Al HISBODEDUS, and this idea of solitude. Al shvichas leiv, combined, pouring your heart like water. Al hanachas ruach, and from the pleasure I get from this. The arousal that you've grabbed and hold to. The fiery heart that you have accepted. It all is a matnas. It's a free gift that I gave you. You got to remember, this is all coming from Hashem. Zochor, remember, al tishkach es dimos haraga. Don't forget any of the tears. Hagaglim v'kisushi she'sarbacha that have aroused you. Now, he's talking to all kinds of people over here. Could be somebody who have been trying and gave it up, whatever. But he's saying, so he's hitting a broad range of people. There's a lot of people that he's speaking to over here. Dalacha, you need to know, kulam, all these things, shluchei rachma, they're all messengers of God. V'hakol, this is all the to call out to you, to arouse you. Ki rachem merachem ani lecha. I have great mercy for you. Re'eh, look, habetna, atobik yishron asecha, you with your own intelligence. L'madatov asakta b'nos HISBODEDUS. You've learned and engaged in the study of HISBODEDUS. Livanto so atum, you've clarified it completely. Aburyo. You know the statements, hatoros, the various Torahs on this, vasichos and the shmuzim. So here he's talking to people who have already studied a bit. You know everything. You've read it all. So we've done things over the years, Bilvavi Mishkanevne. We did that long ago and learned much about this. A lot of the studies of Hasidus we've done. So you know a lot. And I am your fashioner, I'm your creator. I got one question to ask you. Why after all this knowledge, why are you avoiding me? Why are you hiding me from me? Why are you running away? Why don't you want to talk to me? Then don't tell me I daven. Okay, just strike that from the record. Okay. Because we all know it's pretty forced and it's not natural. That's what you got to do. You got to do that. But just to sit around and schmooze with Hashem. When was the last time you did that? See, that's one of the challenges. We feel, what do you mean? I daven 3 times a day. How much more does God want from me? That's not what he wants. I mean, you'll see what he's going to tell us is that once you really do proper HISBODEDUS, then you'll have finally proper davening.
So, Rabbi, might I ask a question?
Sure, by all means.
I mean, sometimes perhaps one feels like they don't have this audience with Hashem that they do when they take their steps forward and meet with Hashem in at the appropriate time and the appropriate space. And we're always told that Hashem listens when there's a minyan. He doesn't listen as much when you're without a minyan. So I'm wondering whether those are some of the factors that say, well, maybe I'll add a few of my words in prayer, but during the rest of the time, it's chutzpahdik to just start talking to Hashem without the proper setup.
Okay, so let me explain to you. There's 2 different things going on over here. There is one thing, an avoda that's done in a group. Tefillah is what we'll call a tefillah, the way it's designed, is a group effort. When we go and say the prescribed prayers for a man, God has said a prescribed prayer should be said in a group. And what those prescribed prayers are meant to accomplish must be done in a group. I mean, you could do it privately, fine, but HISBODEDUS has nothing to do, well, not nothing, but is a far difference than davening the set prayers in a group. In the set prayers in a group, it's like you're leading troops into battle. Now, you can't go to battle alone. I mean, you could, but it's not a good idea. You go to battle with 1,000 troops, you're going with power. Now, what about a guy who's straggling behind? He's making his own private flank. You know, the general says, okay, we're going this way. Let's go, follow me. This case, I'm going the other way. When you're fighting a battle going the other way, you're going to get cut down pretty fast. That's tefillah b'tzibur. That's going to battle. Then there's the time where you want to sit down and schmooze with the general. I want to talk to him. So HISBODEDUS is, I just want to talk to you just so I can talk to you. I want to share like a friends talking to each other. I'm not necessarily making any requests. It's not necessarily what's going on. It's like when a person talks to his parent, well, let's say the Seder. Oh, you know, I got a big mishpacha. I mean, Baruch Hashem, last Pesach, we were able to arrange nearly the entire Michalowicz clan was together. That would be like tefillah b'tzibur. It was a family gathering, which is amazing. And you know, there's many things that we gained by the family being all together. We're feeling connected. We feel like we're on the same team. But then if somebody comes over and says, Zaidi, I want to talk to you privately. It's a whole different story. It's a different story. So that's what Hashem wants. And the truth is, if you can have those private discussions, then when you're going to go out to battle, you're going to be battling differently. That's the point. So, yeah, you're locked down. You want to have HISBODEDUS with Hashem. That is one of the great benefits of being locked down. You're in your house. You could talk to Hashem all you want, not the tefillah part. That's battle. And that's why it's not a good idea to go to battle alone. Because when that happens, you see what happens when you die. I'm glad you asked this question, Paul. I'm very happy you asked it. You make the class interesting. Otherwise, it's boring just to listen to me. Even I get bored listening to myself. That's what we had in today's Gemara class. We had some amazing questions. It was an amazing class. The people make the class, not the Rabbi. Anyway, so the point, and I almost forgot what I'm saying now. But the point is, so the lockdown was a tremendous opportunity for HISBODEDUS to spend time on your own to talk to Hashem. That's what it's about. But now, when you daven, you notice when you daven the Amidah, what is, I think all of us can agree, the biggest challenge is to stay focused and to concentrate. You know why? Because you're going to battle, and guess what? The Satan's going to battle too. He's your enemy. He knows that if you and your other 10 friends are really focused in prayer, whoa, you're going to give him a big blow. So what we got, we'll say undercover agents, mamish, under your brains, is telling you, no, why don't you think about this instead? That's why it's so hard to daven alone, to daven in a group. And honestly, it's not that much easier when you daven the Shemona Esrei at home. It really isn't that much, because maybe the first day or two, it's amazing, but then, you know, there's still distractions.
Actually, I found it harder, to be quite honest.
Okay, yeah, many
Personally.
people, yes, because there's other people doing it. It gives you courage. But tefillah is a battle. So if it's a battle, you're going to be fought against. To be able to get through a whole davening like that, it's a major battle, and we lose often. Okay, Hashem rewards us for trying to fight. And he said, what's the point if we forget? Anyway, Hashem says, just keep fighting, keep fighting. I appreciate your fighting. One day, you can succeed if you make the right attempts. So that's one thing. And that, regardless Corona or not, especially now, you have to be in shul. You have to be a minyan. Finished. But now when you're talking, if once you get used to this, you're going to find something amazing. The Yitzhak is not going to distract you. He's not going to distract you. You're not in the battle now. You're sitting with your dad and having a schmooze with him. And there's no agenda. I mean, there'll be a broad agenda, but and say what's on your heart. Once you get used to doing, isn't it interesting that when you're at a kiddush, guys, try to remember when that last was. Okay, or better yet, you're at the Shabbos table. Okay, let's say it's just you and your wife. Yeah, you're talking to your wife. Your wife is responding to you. Do you get distracted that much when you're talking to her? Not really. Not really. There's no something over there. There could be other somethings, maybe you're judging your spouse unfavorably. There could be other somethings. But in terms of paying attention, you ever fall asleep when your wife's talking to you at the Shabbos table? I hope not. And that's when the real bonding takes place. So that's what he's saying. So there's prayer. That's a battle. And it's hard to win that battle because you're just not used to talking to God. And the Sutton makes it all difficult. So Hashem says, when you're going out to battle, I don't want anybody going on their own. I don't need any rogue soldiers. We're going as a battalion together. And you know what? What happens when you go to battle? What happened at Normandy? Lo Elena. The first wave, I don't know the numbers, like 90% got killed in the first wave, whatever. But eventually the fourth, fifth wave broke through. So what happens when we daven? That's why you always want to have a tzaddik in your minyan. So let's say, any one of us, we get cut down in the first wave. By the first bracha, we're already dreaming. He got cut down right away. Another guy got cut down in the third bracha, third wave. Yeah, but then you got somebody like, whatever, a real tzaddik's in the minyan. And he makes it all the way through. You know how come he makes it all the way through? Because the Sutton's busy cutting us down. And he's pretty strong, so he can make it through. You hear what's going on over here? That one tzaddik gets through, and therefore we all win. Remember, at the end of the day, many casualties were at Normandy, but did we take that? Did we take the beachhead? You took the beachhead. So every day you go to shul, you want Klal Yisrael to take the beachhead. That's why you always find Hasidim down with the Rebbe. Because the Rebbe is the captain, he's going to take the beachhead, and we'll be the casualties. It's okay, but at the end of the day, you live to see another day. Like those video games where you get so many lives. So, you get killed. Okay, I went to daven, I got killed. I got killed in the first bracha. I got killed in the fourth bracha. Okay, but you know what? But I know somebody made it through. And maybe you contribute. Maybe no one had kavanah for the seventh bracha, but you woke up at the seventh bracha. I'm in the seventh bracha. Okay, I better have kavanah. And like for 20 seconds, you got kavanah, and then you blew it the rest of the time. But could be nobody else had kavanah for the seventh bracha. So now when you go as a group, there's 10 guys davening, there's a good chance maybe all 18 brachas are going to be had by one group. Right? So that's good. So the team has succeeded. You've won a battle. As a group, you win battles as a group. The Torah was not given to Avram Avinu alone. It was given to Klal Yisrael. So that's the battle front. But then there's the strategic planning and all the intimate discussions. That's the other thing that Hashem really wants to hear. So that's the point over here. So Hashem is saying, why are you avoiding me? Just sit down and talk to me. Just like we said, just like your parents, your spouse wants you to talk to them.
Rabbi.
For what purpose? To get close.
Rabbi.
That's it. Yes, Rick, I can't hear you so well.
I'll go closer.
Yes, good idea.
I think the analogy that you gave with HISBODEDUS versus speaking to your spouse or speaking to your family, etc. There's an aspect. The difference is there's an aspect of immediate feedback. So it's a discussion, and there's a real voice talking to you back versus one way. I mean, Hashem is listening for sure, but it's that feedback loop that's not being closed, and that's why we find it difficult.
Okay, so that's a good question.
It's kind of like a comment. It's not really a question because I don't know if there's any answer, but you know,
It's a reality.
Let me ask you like this. Let me ask you like this. Lo aleinu, when certain parents get very old and they start to lose their minds, you stop talking to them? No feedback. You stop talking to
God
them?
forbid, even if a patient is in a coma or
That's
whatever.
what I'm saying. I say, you talk, why? You're not getting any feedback. So why waste your time? Your time's very valuable. So what's the point? Because you love them. You love them. I want to share my day with you. Even, and let's say, you know, when you're listening, sometimes you don't have to say anything. The fact that someone's listening is enough. Honestly, sometimes when our wives talk to us, we love them dearly. They're not always interested in hearing our feedback. They just want to know that we're listening.
Yep, I hear that all the time. I don't want solutions.
So Hashem's not giving you solutions, but he's listening to you. And the feedback comes very subtly. Depending on what you say and what you ask for, the feedback comes in things happening in your life. When your mom is saying, Hashem, I'm in a really bad state. I'm really in a bad state. I need some chizuk. And then all of a sudden someone gives you a call. Let me give you an answer. Let me give you a for instance, Rick. All right. I think it's a very good comment, to paraphrase you, that is going to make the class even better. So Sunday morning, I mamish had no cheshik for Tisha B'Av. Like mamish, I don't want to do this. I've been doing this for like, I don't know how many years, 20 years. These marathon Tisha B'Avs, I said, I'm just not in the mood this year.
I think the rabbi mentioned that. Was it in the pre-Shabbos Drush?
Really not in the mood. And you know, and I tell Hashem, I ain't in the mood. I need your help. I don't, you know, so I'll have to push myself. Okay, then in the last 24 hours, certain things became noticed by me or available to me. And I've got a whole path of how I'm going to do it, and I'm all excited about it. And Paul, I think you see a little bit of the bulletin review may reflect a little of that. And I'm deciding something really different this year. And all of a sudden, I'm energized and excited. I want to ask you a question. Who did that for me? So you know what? What do you think is more important? When you send an email to somebody and you got a problem and then they send you back, oh, and I feel bad for you. Good luck. Or you send an email and the guy sends you the solutions without any words. You know, sometimes you get an email, sometimes people ask me, can you send me this information? A lot of times people want to know things, you know, and it's hard for them to find it. They think I'm a rabbi, I have easy access to it. So I can write an essay, oh, no, I'm really sorry. I don't know how to help you. I'm really sorry. Oh, I'm empathizing, but I didn't help them. Or the other way, I send them exactly what they needed. No words, just send it to them. Which kind of response you prefer? You know what they say? Actions speak louder than words. Do you want a politician to say, yes, I hear what you're saying? Good. Forget it. vote for me, and then I'll forget about you after the election.
Or when you're on hold and they say your call is very important to us.
Yes. So I'm telling you, it's like Sunday, Friday, Shabbos, Sunday. So I'm walking to shul on Shabbos. And guys, it's a great opportunity, especially for you guys, because you're big walkers. So a lot of people think, what a waste of time. You're walking 20 minutes to shul. That's prime HISBODEDUS time. And I'm walking to shul, I'm talking to God. And I'm telling him my problems. I'm saying, I really don't want to do this, but you know what's best. And I see nothing's coming up, and you really insist that I do this. I understand this. So maybe you're going to give me a little help because I'm really not into this. I don't got the time. I'm doing too many other things. I got this Nachyomi program. I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that. And on top of that, and remember, it's Tisha B'Av right after Shabbos. That means everything's going to be ready before Shabbos. I said, and I don't even want to do it. And I'm kind of complaining to God because he's my friend. He's my friend. I said, I don't know what you want me to do, but I'm going to look awfully foolish. Maybe I'll cancel it this year. Let me just tell me, just go home and forget it. And I said, well, no, maybe I'll just do this and that. And then I don't know. I call one person, I get one idea, another idea goes other. I go into Sefer, I looked at 10 times, I couldn't find anything, and I looked back again, I found 5 things right away. All of a sudden, I'm energized. Who's talking to me, Rick?
I hear.
Okay, sometimes God doesn't answer me. He's also saying the answer is no. Stick it out. Too bad. Right? So of course, so that's, but you have to be a sensitive, you have to learn. And it takes me 64 years. Learn to be a sensitive soul, appreciate your surroundings, appreciates what's happening around you. And then you'll hear the answers. You'll hear the answers. So, and he never lets you down. He never lets you down in so many ways. But you got to spend the time to talk. But if you don't spend the time, so you davening Shemona Esrei, that's just going to battle. But you'll find, and who's doing it? Hashem is doing the whole thing. He's saying Hashem's putting the words in your mouth, and he's doing everything. He just wants you to have a little bit of involvement. Okay, we got to stop it at this point. I hope that's something for us to chew on, as they say. And I really appreciate the questions. Keep them piling in, guys. And we'll continue.
We appreciate the answers, Rabbi. Thank you.
And we'll continue tomorrow, Be'ezras Hashem. Have a good afternoon.
Yeah.